Well, it's an absolutely horrible day outside. It's absolutely pouring with rain, freezing cold and windy. So, jobs for inside today. And one of the jobs I need to do is to stock up my freezer. So today's a bit of batch cooking. And it's pulled pork. I've never done this before, so I'm quite interested to see how it turns out. Quite fancy the recipe, I haven't looked at it. So, let's have a look at what we need. So I bought half a leg of pork. You'd only do this with shoulder pork apparently. Normally I buy this and just slice it up and then portion it up and put it in the freezer. So, but it was a sizable lump, cost me about 10 quid. That's not bad. And what we need is ground black pepper and some ginger. You know, you can grate your own, but it's a real pain to grate ginger. So this is what they call very lazy grated ginger. That'll do me. Some cinnamon, some dark sugar. I don't have dark sugar, I've got some demerara there, that'll do. I don't suppose it'll make much difference. And some salt. And I need some tin foil and a roasting tin to put it all in. So the first thing I need to do is to mix up the salt, cinnamon, grated ginger, pepper and sugar in a bowl. 2 teaspoonsful of salt. That'll do. And I need the same amount of ground black pepper. I'll just put that in. Won't worry about. When I think I've got enough in, that'll do. Well, that looks about right. And 2 teaspoonsful of ground cinnamon and 2 teaspoonsful of grated ginger. That's brilliant, isn't it? Do cinnamon, and two teaspoonsful of ground ginger, grated ginger as this is. And 1.5 tablespoons full of brown sugar. 1.5. And just mix them up. do. I'm not sure there's enough there, but anyway, if there isn't, I'll make some more. So I'll just cut the string on the pork and unroll it. And rub this mixture in. Those. Preheat the oven to 220 Celsius, or if you've got a fan oven, it's 200. So while I'm waiting for the oven to heat up, I need to roll this pork up again. I don't have to tie it up, and put it into a piece of tin foil before I put it into the roasting tin. And there has to be enough tin foil so that later on I can fully enclose the pork in a tin foil envelope. So that's a piece of pork rolled up again and shoved in the roasting tin, and with this tin foil, which will make an envelope for the second part of the process. Well, the oven's up to 200 degrees Celsius now, or gas mark 7 if you've got a gas cooker, and I put the pork in the oven for half an hour until it's a golden brown colour, and I'll set a timer just in case I fall asleep. Well, it's been in the oven for half an hour at 200 in this pan oven, and now you need to add half a pint of hot water. And then seal up the envelope. So I turn the oven down to 150 on a normal oven, or 130 on this fan oven, or gas mark 2, and shove this back in the oven for 5 hours, or until it's well cooked, however long that takes. I'll put a lid on this as well, I think. Well, that's it in the oven for 5 hours. I have to get an alarm clock and set the time. It's 4 o'clock, so it's not due to be out till 9 o'clock in the evening, by which time I've probably forgotten about it. Yeah, I'll see you later. Well, it's been in for 5 hours now, so it's just a question of checking whether it's just a question of checking whether it's cooked or not. So I'll look in. I'm just going to poke it with a skewer. If it comes out pink, and it needs a bit more, it should run clear. No, that is beautiful. Yep, that's well cooked. So now I just increase the oven temperature back up to 200 in this fan oven, gas mark 7 or 220 if you haven't got a fan oven, and cook it for 10 minutes without the foil on. Well, that's the cooking complete. It looks very nice. It needs lifting out of those juices there and just leaving it to rest for about half an hour. And I'll take the rind off and make some crackling with it later. I find that if you try to do the crackling on the joint, you overcook the meat. You get a lot of fat and lovely juices from the pork, which you have to separate. I mean, you can just pour them into a jug and the fat freezes or solidifies on the top, and you just make a little hole in it and pour the juices off. But you can get one of these gadgets here, which separates them. So you need to put this rubber thing in the spout before you pour the juices in, otherwise the fat goes up the spout and sets solid, which is difficult to shift. So I can just leave that now, and the fat will rise to the top and set. Now I can pour off the juices for making gravy through the spout. So I've taken the rind off the pork, and I'll make crackling with this. And the easiest way to do it, I find, is to just put it on a piece of tin foil and just turn it up at the corners, because it tends to splash in the oven. If you just make a little tray, it tends to keep it keeps the oven a little bit cleaner than otherwise. So it needs to be rubbed with oil and then lots of salt. Put a bit of oil on and then spread it around with a brush or my fingers. So I just rub all that in. Make sure it's all well covered. That will do, and then it just wants some salt on now. And you can use coarse sea salt, but I didn't bother. sure it's all rubbed well in. And then it has to be put in a very hot oven, about 200, for as long as it takes to go crispy. So all that remains to do now is to pull this pork apart. You just use a couple of forks. It just falls to pieces. It's beautiful. So you just need to shred it. It smells wonderful. I suppose that's why it's called pulled pork, because you pull it to bits. So I'll just keep going until I've finished. Well, that's it done. And it tastes beautiful. Really nice. Right, all that remains to do now is to divide that up into individual portions, shove it in a bag, label it, put a date on, stick it in the freezer. I don't know how many portions there will be there. I would think there must be a good one. Probably 10, even more, depending on how big a portion you like. It's much easier to shred the pork or pull the pork while it's still warm. If you leave it till it gets cold, the fat congeals and it doesn't shred anywhere near as nicely, apparently. Well, there you can see the crackling's coming on. It's not quite ready yet, but it's beginning to jump about in here. Probably be another 10 minutes or so. So that's the job complete. Crispy crackling. It's taken about half an hour to do that. All it requires now is I've just got to pour off this liquid, and by taking this red stopper out, leaving the fat in the jug. The liquid, which contains all the meat juices, you can pour into an ice cube tray and freeze it and use it for making gravy. The fat, once it's set, you can use, or you just spread it on bread and eat it. It's quite tasty, but of course it's bad for your heart. So I tend to just spread it on old crusts and feed it to the birds. Well, there we are. It's absolutely beautiful. That's like taste of ginger and cinnamon. Lovely. Well, that wasn't too difficult, a bit time consuming, but I've got enough there for probably 10 to 12 meals. Anyway, join me again another time for some culinary experimenting. Next time I see you I'll probably be on the riverbank, but when the river's been as they are, with all this rain we've had today, I suspect it won't be until much later in the week. Anyway, take care, bye bye, I'll see you again.